Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round 11 of the season for the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheim Ring. If you guys missed the last episode for round 10 for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, then go watch that video guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen. But today we are here to kick things off for the start of season 2, and I'm looking forward to it guys. We're going to try and go off to a good start and try and make the second half of the season much more stronger than the first, try and score a lot more points, because we've now got a good car to compete with. And for this episode, you can see on the screen we've been pushed back a little bit to the 6th best car now. We was the 4th best car, but Racing Point and McLaren have brought some pretty substantial upgrades. But of course, we're going to put some on ourselves in this episode. You can see we've already got 2,100 points to our name, so we're going to bring a big upgrade package, and that's going to be focused on Spa and Monza specifically. So it's going to be a lot of engine upgrading in this episode because we need to keep up with that part of things to stay on top. But yeah, guys, you saw a moment ago at the start of the video, we do have a chance of rain in the race, similar to the last race at Silverstone, but not as much. But there is still going to be rainfall, and dare I say, intermediate tyres are going to at least have to be used at minimum, possibly even the wet. So it could be a tasty weekend. In terms of practice though, you can see on the screen we did struggle to get a flawless score. We struggled with the qualifying performance test. Other than that, it was a good practice session. The car was working good, and I was confident with the pace. And overall, we were definitely not as quick as Silverstone. That was a one-off, because the AI are not very quick around there. But back to reality here at Hockenheim, 110% AI once again, and Kubica was very, very close to me in all the practice sessions, and I just managed to out-qualify him in the qualifying runs in FP1, so the last session before qualifying was quite encouraging. Having said that, it's still very close, and I think it's actually going to be quite tricky to get out of Q1, let alone, forget beating Kubica. Getting out of Q1 is going to be an achievement because it's very, very close in the midfield, and one mistake is going to absolutely ruin any chance you have of getting out of Q1, because Renault, McLaren, Racing Point, Williams, Toro Rosso, Alfa Romeo, Haas, literally, it's so close, and anybody can, take it out. So it's so close in this session, and I'm really curious to see who comes out on top. But jumping into qualifying then, and we're going to move into Q1, the first part of qualifying, and we're going to hit the track here. We're going to go for 2 runs in this Q1 session as we normally do, because that's the kind of norm. In Silverstone we got away with 1, but we don't normally have that privilege. So in Q1, here we go, 10 minutes to go on the clock, and my first run was actually not that bad, 7/10 off through the first 2 sectors, and 1 more sector to go. But this final sector, I was losing so much time to the AI, unfortunately, and I know where it is. It's these last 2 corners, because my front left overheats, and I understeer massively, and I have to completely get off the pace, and I lose so much time for the last 2 corners. We cross the line, we do go P15, they're 1 second off the pace, but you can see on the tyres in a minute now, you'll see the temperature, the front left absolutely cooking, and it's something I have to try and manage. And I discovered something, a little bit of not a loophole, but a way to fix it, and that is by going super slow on the outlap. It's like it has to be one of the slowest outlaps I do all year long, but it did pay off because I found much more grip on my best lap in Q1, which was my final run. So let's run on board for the entire lap, absolute full commitment through turn 1, throwing the car in, just about avoiding the traffic of the Alfa Romeo. We're now going to get hopefully a nice tow from the Red Bull, I believe of Max Verstappen in front of us, all the way down this straight, and we're going to gain a heap of time on our previous delta as we go along the back straight, opening up the DRS, using overtake mode as we pull to the left hand side, and we find a 1/10 of a second as we now brake just after the 100-meter board, down to first gear for the hairpin, pick up your apex, smooth on the power out of here. Very important to get good traction because we've got quite a bit of a trek on the straight before the next major brake zone, before the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. Braking just after the 50-meter board as the curve appears on the right hand side, down to second gear if you need to for the extra rotation, carrying the car flat out through the right and across the second sector split. And so far this is a better lap, only 3/10 down on Pierre Gasly, who's currently setting the pace out front as we go through the stadium section in towards the Sachs curve, just tapping the inside curb there if possible, just trying to get the car nice and low on the power. And this is where having the outlap is going to help us out, because we're going to keep our tyres and we're going to have so much more grip through these final 2 corners here. And look at our delta just shoot up to nearly 3/10 up, and it's a big improvement up to P12, and we managed to get up there and out of Q1 for now. Will it be enough come the end of the session? Yes, it is, and we just get in P14. Having said that, we got in relatively comfortably by 0.2 of a second, but on that in-lap, I was P12 and I saw P13, I saw P14, and I was starting to think, oh no, I'm going to drop out. And that was actually a fantastic lap as well, a 109.9. That's very strong for me. Getting below 110 is proving to be a really tough challenge. But in Q2, I went out, and straight away, this was on used tyres. It was a set I used in my first run in Q1. and I was only 2 tenths down on Gasly through the second sector, so a very encouraging first run on this used rubber. Through the final couple of corners though, you can see here, so far so good, no mistakes at all in the final sector. As we come up to the line though, and we are going to lose a bit of time and finish with a 110.2, and we lost 8 tenths in that final sector alone, so very, very weird final sector. I can't explain where the time loss is happening because there's no mistakes on my end, and the tyres are not overheating anymore, so I found a way to manage it. So very, very mystifying. But either way, we're going to go out for one more run, fresh set of rubber, my last fresh set of soft tyres in Q2, and we're going to give it absolutely everything on this final attempt to try and go for a banzai lap and get ourselves into Q3 as we go through turn 3 now onto the back straight. DRS open, a little bit late to get the flap open there. We lost I reckon half a tenth just by losing the momentum, so we have to use lots of overtake to keep up with the improved delta time as we now go towards the hairpin, braking down to first gear. And so far so good. A little bit of a lock-up, but we do manage to turn that into a good exit, and as you know, as a consequence, actually gain even more time on our previous best as we go flat out through the right, and then again braking before the Mercedes-Benz grandstand, before the curb on the right-hand side, taking a lot more inside curb this time around on the power as soon as possible, flat out through the right. And this so far is a fantastic lap as we're less than a tenth down, I believe, on Pierre Gasly. So all I've got to do is try and keep it together for this final sector, and we could be on for a Q3 appearance as we go in towards the Sachs curve at the hairpin here. Very, very nice line through there, keeping it nice and tidy through the little chicane, and now into the final couple of corners here. Again, using the method of the cooler tire temperatures, hopefully giving us more grip. And we come up to the line, nearly 4 tenths up here as we cross the line, and it's only P12, and we yet again lost 6 tenths in that final sector alone. And I can't quite find that lap time, unfortunately. It's a shame because the first 2 sectors were great, but that final sector is just killing me. It really, really is. And I've got no solution for it. There's literally nothing I can do. The way I'm driving, there's really nothing for it. So overall, it's P12 for us in the German Grand Prix. Still a good position to start the race from. We will get the free choice of time with the race. With the race being predicted to be in the wet tomorrow, there could be a good chance that we could pull off a madness with the strategy. But guys, that is it for qualifying here at the Hockenheim, and we're now going to move into the race for round 11 of the season for the German Grand Prix.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheim ring then, with an average lap speed in excess of 130 miles per hour. The long curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit, but there are plenty of other options available around the 17 corners here today. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Alexander Albon, Vettel, Gasly, Charles Leclerc and Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen, Ricciardo and Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Norris, Nico Hülkenberg and Robert Kubica. Grosjean and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, so here we are then on the grid for the German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheim Ring, and we start from 12th place on the grid. No penalties to apply to other cars, so we're not going to get promotion this race. Having said that, we are still, on the 6th row and well placed to have a good race here today, and strategy is going to be key because, as you can see on screen, the weather conditions are going to play a major part in this race, and it's going to get quite wet quite quickly towards the end of the race, and I think we could go from inters on to wets possibly if it's that extreme. So we'll keep an eyes peeled. Either way, though, you can see on screen we are going to run one extra lap of fuel as we always do, and we're going to start the race on the mediums. I'm kind of hoping I can run the mediums and go straight into the intermediate. If I have to run another tyre, I'll get into the soft tyre. So overall, it's not too concerning. I could start with the hard, but I just feel like it's such a slow tyre, I'm going to lose so much time. So I'm going to just go with the medium for now, in case the rain does arrive a little bit earlier than expected, and if not, then I'll deal with the consequences later on. But guys, that is it. We're now going to move into the racing here, and hopefully we can score points once again for the 11th time this season. Let's jump into it. It's time for the German Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's try and get a good start as we build up to the 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. It's a pretty average start off the line. Not the best you'll ever see, but we do get into turn 1 relatively unscathed. Still in P12, we've got Ricciardo in front, also on the medium tyres, and then in front of him, of course, everybody's on the soft tyre, so that's what you expect as we go down the inside of Danny Rick here. Trying to get the power down, we're going to be on the outside for turn 3. Ricciardo giving me the squeeze as we get a warning there for exceeding track limits as a consequence, even though Ricciardo completely ran me out of road there, so I'm not quite sure how that's a warning, but either way. On the brakes into the hairpin, very late. Down the inside of Danny Kvyat. Yellow flag. We're going to just get in front of the Toro Rosso. And up into 10th place, into the points. Very good start. Kvyat trying to come back around the outside there, but I'm just going to close the door. And there we go, that's 10th place for us. The question is, do we have race pace on these medium tyres? That's going to be something we'll find out as the race progresses. But I think we should be okay. We've got a bit of battling going in front there with the Ferrari and the Racing Points. That's going to help us hopefully close up to those guys as we get a bit of oversteer there. Just got to try and switch this medium tyre on a little bit. Once we get to like lap 5 or something, I think we'll be okay on this tyre, and the soft tyre will start to lose its edge. So it's just about hanging on there for the first couple of laps, weathering the storm, and then we'll hopefully come into this race a little bit later on. So let's keep our head down as we go on to lap 2 and try and get within a second of Magnussen, so we can pick up DRS next lap. That's the important thing we need to do. Okay, so DRS is now enabled. Have we done enough to get within a second of Magnussen? I'm not quite sure. It's going to be very close. Yes, we have. We've just done enough. That's good. Kvyat behind is hanging on. He's keeping it on me quite comfortably, but there's a bit of a gap to Ricciardo, which is good. So we're not under any major pressure as they go 3 wide in front. I'm going to go a bit hot on the brakes there. I've completely missed my brake zone. I was too distracted by the cars in front battling away, so we've lost a bit of ground there. Head down, let's keep pushing. Let's try and get a bit closer to the guys in front.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
Okay, there it is. I guess we're going to monitor that now and see how that progresses. I think we will have to stop for soft tyres, I think. I feel like it's a bit too far to stretch the mediums, but we'll see. You never know. I've definitely dropped out of the DRS range though, unfortunately. We've had a bit of a poor lap there. That was a good end to the lap. Not a personal best, but a good final sector. And we've pulled away from Kvyat, and we've actually gained on Magnussen here. If I can just push the limits into turn 2 and 3, I might just be able to get back within DRS of the Racing Point. Not quite, we just miss out. But I'm dropping Kvyat though, which is good. So we're taking the pressure off from behind. Oh, okay. That's an early stop. Magnussen pits in already, and that's going to give me DRS. And we set a personal best. That was a very good lap from us. Very good end to the lap again. Just starting to find some really good pace now. Let's try and keep it going as we now open up at a very nice gap to Kvyat. More cars pit in this time. The McLaren of Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, we don't get DRS as a few of the big boys come in as well. So we're now up to P5 in this race. That's good news for us, and more people will pit in front of us, so let's just keep doing our thing. Okay, a few more pit in, including Sebastian Vettel. The Racing Point of Sergio Perez though stays out. Seems like I think that the Red Bull's staying out as well. I'm not sure which one it is, but for now he's keeping the lead. Yellow flag.
Green flag.
Perez and Gasly pit. Oh no, Gasly still stays out. Very surprising. I want to see who retired. It's me, Raikkonen. Oh wow, he was right behind me as well on track. He had good pace and he was catching me. Disappointing for the Iceman. But Gasly, this is a mammoth stint from Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull on the soft tyres. Very interesting strategy. He's really come alive. Since the last race he won, he's been very aggressive and very quick this weekend.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
That's quite far away, I can't lie. Can I stretch these to 15 minutes? Not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't think I can, to be honest. Now, finally, Pierre Gasly pits in. So we are going to lead a couple of laps of this German Grand Prix. As we take first place, Gasly goes for the hard, so he's pretty much staying out until the rain arrives. Interesting strategy there from Pierre Gasly. Does that mean possibly the leaders on soft tyres stop that early because they're going to two-stop? If that's the case, we're looking in fantastic shape here to be in a net race lead. If we time this right with the rain arriving, we've got a bloody good chance of winning this race now all of a sudden. It just depends when the rain arrives. So Pierre Gasly now up to second place in this race as we make our way into the shade. The clouds starting to appear now. It's going to be interesting this because Gasly has the hard tyres on, so it's not the quickest tyre. I want to see what his pace is because we've got a 5-second gap to maintain before the rain arrives. And if we want to win this race, it's important to keep that buffer as long as we can. You know, if we get overtaken by Gasly, then fair enough. I'm just hoping that the rain arrives and we have the same pace as Silverstone. But Gasly already gaining half a second there in the first sector alone. I'm starting to struggle with my tyres a little bit now. But let's focus. Need to try and set the best laps I possibly can. Gasly's flying. Admittedly, I didn't realise in the last lap I left my car in low ERS the whole lap, so that explains why I lost about a second more than I should have. But Gasly's still flying because that was a good lap from me. I need 3 tenths off my personal best, and he's still gained another second on me, so he's got really good pace at the minute. But the clouds are arriving, and it is getting overcast here at the Hockenheim ring.
Okay, we don't think we're far away from some rain. I'll keep you updated as the conditions change.
It definitely feels like the conditions have just swayed a bit in the last lap. It's permanent cloud now all over the track. Just consistent cloud cover. And it's getting very dark all of a sudden, so it looks like the rain might have sped up a little bit in terms of its arrival time, which is good news for me. That's going to help me out. I literally just selected the inters, so...
Pit this lap, so push now.
I won't pit this lap, but we're going to stay out. I've got the inters selected, so we're ready for the rain to arrive. Okay, it's starting to rain. First couple of droplets coming down. Alright then, this is going to be a very tense period now. Gasly's just got to the back of me. He's just outside of the RS range. And we're going to burn up the rest of my fuel. Gasly's right on my gearbox here. He's gaining on us. It won't be enough into turn 1, but it's going to get him pretty damn close. I've got that one track extension from lap 1 with Ricardo, so I've got to keep that in mind when it comes to this. As Kubica pits in. I've got to be careful with track limits.
Robert is in the pits. Robert in the pits.
Right, here comes Pierre. I've got to defend. It's for the race lead. Pierre doesn't quite commit to the overtake properly. He's going to try and go down the inside, but I'm just going to block him off. Let's take it nice and easy. Kubica's completely ruined his race by pitting in there, but that's just the AI, unfortunately, lacking a bit of a brain. Oh, that's a big send. That completely caught me out. We are just going to stay in front, but that was a big surprise from Pierre Gasly there. Did not see that coming into the Sachs curve. Trying to get some fuel on target so I can actually turn the engine up and defend from him. The pressure's building though. Absolutely building. Here he comes again. Just got to cover all my racing lines. The track's also starting to lose grip now, and these tyres are very second hand. Good exit from us there. Gasly's definitely not running as high on engine mode.
It's not a perfect situation, but I don't think we have cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Just make sure we don't lock up into that hairpin. That's going to be very delicate. I'm going to adjust the brake bar slightly and open up the differential as well. Let's keep this going. Track's starting to get very delicate now. It's a nice bit of traction from me there. I'm able to turn the engine up now on the straight. Gazzy's going to look again, but I don't think he's close enough, and we can stay in front for one more lap. Don't lock up into the hairpin, that's all I need to not do. Nice and easy, there we go. Pressure's on, but we're doing well. We're coping with it. As Leclerc starts to catch behind us. Ooh, that's a lock up. Track's getting delicate. Very delicate. Gazzy's going to be on my gearbox here, I've got to defend.
Pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
I'm struggling, and I think I'm going to pit in this lap. I'm going to pit in for the injuries.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Copy.
Yeah, there it is. The team read my mind. I just felt the track go, so we are going to pit in for the intermediates this lap. And look at this, the strategy's paid off. That's not speed. There we go, very conservative pit entry. No need to risk anything. We just need a good stop. If there's ever a time for a sub 1.9 stop, it's now. Come on, boys.
Complete, go now.
Perfect, 1.8.
That was our power stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
We've actually extended our gap over Pierre Gasly slightly, as Kubica fits in now.
Robert is coming in from stop.
We've got a bloody good chance here now. If the conditions are like a Silverstone, if it rains more than this, if it gets worse than this, I'm fancying my chances. We might be on the back foot slightly now, because the track's not quite wet enough. Bottas pits in. That's going to give me back first place. Gasly and Leclerc queuing up behind to get past. Looks like Bottas will squall the fastest lap.
Heavy rainfall on track in about 10 minutes.
Right then. What we need now is the rain to just come down. The more it rains, the better my chances. At the minute I'm struggling because it's not really that wet at the minute. Luckily I've got a little bit of fuel in the RS to use. And the good thing is the RS is now been disabled as well, which is going to take the pressure off. So we can use our straight line speed to stay in front. Ooh, that's a lock up there, got to be careful with those. The good thing is I'm getting a good exit onto the back straight, even though that one had a bit of oversteer in it. We're still getting a good exit, and there's no DRS, so Gasly can't close that gap. Matter of fact, he might have Leclerc to contend with very soon. The rain is slowly but surely picking up in intensity. The good thing is we're getting such a good exit onto this straight. Gasly can get nowhere near me in the brake zone, which is what we want. So I've just got to keep doing that, and I can keep him behind me quite comfortably. But I've got to stay focused. One mistake, one lock up, and it's game over. The win is gone. More people are joining the party. We've got a Mercedes behind. We're starting to catch up. My guess would be that's Lewis Hamilton. And then we've got another Red Bull of Max Verstappen, not too far behind either. It's all kicking off here. It's going to get very intense. But I'm keeping up with the pressure as the laps slowly tick over.
We could see the rain getting worse in around 5 minutes. Heavy rain on its way.
So it's going to arrive very close to the end of the race. I need this heavy rain because that's going to really take the pressure off me, because I can find more pace then. At least I hope so. But we're hanging on nicely. No mistakes so far. I've been perfect on this stint. But the pressure is building. You can see there's 4 cars behind me now. But the laps are running out. And that's a good thing for us. Oh, big bit of oversteer there. Oof, that was scary. A little bit of sweat broke out there from that mistake. That's put Gasly right on my gearbox, but we just got to keep getting our exit out of here, which is working well. You can see that we get some nice traction using the curb on the exit, and that takes the pressure off from behind. Oh, contact. I've been hit on the inside there. That was Pierre Gasly. Not sure what happened there, but I think he might have got a bit hot on the brakes. I'm surprised because I got a bit deep on the brakes myself. A bit of contact there. Could have been a puncture though. Got to be careful. It's been a scary lap so far.
We're still happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment.
Yeah, we're definitely on the right tyres, just nowhere near dry or full wet. It's perfectly intermediate condition at the minute. Although I still could do with a bit more rain. I think the intermediates are good for me, but only when it's on the heavier rain side. So it's raining a lot, but you can still run inters. That's like where it works for me in that kind of window. So for the rain, it's just starting to pick up. I can tell by the droplets. It's just starting to increase now in intensity. Yeah, it has just increased now in the last few corners. I can tell already. Okay, and that could be the time. The rain's picking up a bit. This could be my opportunity to start to open up a gap. Let's see if we can test the limits of the pace here. Here comes the breakaway. I'm going for it. I've got a lot of ERS to use. We've really gone for it this lap. Full send. This is now where I start to lose a bit of time. So this will be a test to see if the conditions suit me or not. It's definitely heavy rain conditions now. We have got a gap to Gasly. It's starting to fall. 1 second.
I'm no longer sure that these tyres are the right ones. It might be time to come in and change.
We're doing it again, guys. We're putting away 1.2, and we're not going to come in for the wet tyres. We're coming to these inters to the end of the race as the rain is now completely coming down now. An absolute free flow. This is it. 1.1. The breakaway has been a success. We're running away at the front. These conditions are my conditions. That's it, we're away. We've absolutely bolted. No one's going for the wet tyres, everyone's staying on the inters. Gap is 1.8. This is my opportunity. Could it finally be the first win ever in this career mode? We came so close in the last race. Still got 2.5 laps to go though. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Oh, it's a big lock up. Gotta be careful. Let's not make a mistake now. That's not what I wanted. I'm on my final warning down to the last lap of the race. Let's take it extra precautiously now. Here we go. Through the Mercedes-Benz grandstand for the final time. Gasly's making one last push. He's pulled away from Leclerc. He's making one last go of it to try and steal the race win from me. I've turned the engine down now because I want to save it a little bit and get to the end without running out of fuel ERS. 1.1 the gap, he has come down a bit. Gasly is going for this. We've just got to make no mistakes and we'll be okay. I thought we had it at Silverstone. We got so close and I did not expect this. The very next race, somehow, we're going to win in the Hockenheimring and win the German Grand Prix. Yes!
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
It's been coming for a while, this one. What an excellent win for Williams. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
Oh, here they are now. I always love seeing the independent teams do well. Williams have a long and storied history with F1, and I'm delighted to see them on the top step of the podium.
Right, so here we have the final race results, and for the first time ever in this career mode, we are race winners, both ourselves as an individual and also Williams win a race in this career mode. We beat Pierre Gasly to the flag, who won the last race and lately has hit a bit of form. Charles Leclerc rounds off the podium, and that is your top three. But we finally did it. It was going to happen in Silverstone. Just a little bit of bad luck and some bad timing and a bad strategy call. This time no mistakes were made and we convert the race win. Lewis Hamilton P4, Max Verstappen P5, Sebastian Vettel in 6th, rounding out the big boys there. And unfortunately for him in his home race, he didn't do that well, to be honest. Starting P3 finished 6th, but look at that. Look how close it was. The top 9 covered by 10 seconds. Really, really close. Perez, Bottas, Sainz and Magnussen running out the top 10. Bottas bringing home the fast lap of the race. And then missing out the points, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Albon, Kubica in a good P14. And had he not pit for dries the lap before the rain came down, it could have been easy points for Robert here today, but unfortunately he got the call wrong, and it's been a story season so far. Nico Hulkenberg P15, Kvyat 16th, Grosjean 17th, Stroll 18th, Giovinazzi 19th, with Raikkonen the only retirement of the Grand Prix in the McLaren. In terms of what that race means for the standings, for the first time ever, we add on 25 points to our point scoring tally, and we are 1 point behind Pierre Gasly, and the top 7 in the championship are covered by 100 points, so we're all within 100 points. I'm 99 behind Hamilton to be exact, and we are 60 points off Verstappen, who's in second. So I'm not going to say we go for the title just yet. I think it's a bit early. It kind of depends on how the car improves, and that could be a key factor here as Leclerc overtakes Vettel for P4. In terms of the constructors though, we solidify our 4th place and extend our lead over Racing Point, which is absolutely fantastic. There's a huge gap to Ferrari though, absolutely massive gap. So the target this season is to just secure the 4th place. That's the best we can do. But I mentioned upgrades, guys, and that's exactly what we're going to do, because depending on the upgrades, we could potentially challenge for more race wins this season, but it's got to be the right upgrades, and they've got to not fail, and they have to arrive. So let's jump to the laptop and let's see what we can put onto the car.
You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win? Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so here we are then on the laptop, and we have 3,100 points to spend. What a race. I can't believe it. We deserve that, and that was a long time overdue. Now, in terms of the team goal, we're going to hit it in the next race, but this race, surprisingly, I was giving a new team goal, and it was to score 32 points over 2 race weekends, which is ludicrous. That's 16 points in 2 races. That's like 2 third places. But because we won this race, it only puts me 7 points short of hitting the goal. I mean, I still have to do very good in the next race to achieve that, but we are very, very close to that, and I'm very, very happy that we might have a chance of hitting that team goal in the next race. But let's focus on the upgrades for this one, because we know Spa and Monza are on the horizon, so we are going to go straight into the power unit and invest there, and we're going to go straight in with 2 major engine upgrades, one for the fuel consumption and the other is for the ERS, and that will bring us back up to par with the big teams Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes. We still have 1,000 points to spend, and I've got a couple of options as to where to spend them. So in the engine we're going to be a top team again. In the aero we are slipping down a little bit. In the chassis we're mid-table. So what I'm thinking is I might do 2 more chassis upgrades. I can afford 2 chassis upgrades, I think, just. So we're going to go for a weight redistribution one, and we should have just enough to buy this one here, and those 2 should take us right to the top, to even maybe the 2nd best team in the chassis department. And then from then on, all we can do is focus on the aero and make sure we improve a little bit here, because all we've got to do is bring on this major upgrade, and that will take us right up to the top of the table. But yeah, guys, big upgrades on the way, and we haven't left ourselves exposed, so we've got a minor one on the way for the next race, 2 minor ones on the way for the next race, so we're still improving all the time. And with those upgrades, we should take a ginormous step and get very, very close to Ferrari, who are in 3rd place. But guys, that is going to be it for this absolutely incredible episode of Career Mode. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, and also get subscribed if you are new, guys, for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.